Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are able to see me. Just confirm if you can hear me, if my audio and video are okay. You need to introduce yourself because, yeah, that's Mridula. That's Alma. And who else is here? Safina's here. Raj, Hamsa, you have a different name over here. All right. Okay. Well, I actually, this is not like our regular, what do you say, educator app. I'm supposed to, I get your messages on the phone and then I'll be teaching you on the screen. So it's going to be a little different from the way we've been having classes on educator app. Anyway, let us start. I think we have only 5 at the moment. We probably will not have Anisha over here, the one who probably will have to inform her that I've been taking classes over here as well from now on. Anyway, let us start the class and let us begin. How many are active? Just quickly send me a hi because I have no idea who I'm talking to right now at the moment. There's Hamsa and there is Safina, there is Alma. Tanisha has also joined. Students Corner, Tanisha. Okay. And Alma, 3. And who else? Oh, Hina has also joined. Yeah. This is quite different. This is my first class on YouTube and it's going to be a little, I don't know, it's going to take a while for me to get used to because we all are, in fact, probably, right, Hamsa? Mridula. Mridula is also here, I believe. Alicia. Where are you from, Alicia? My head is mostly going to be down, I presume, because I'll be looking at the chat over here. All right, guys, let us. Oh, cool. All right. Okay, guys, let us begin the class and let us see how the class goes. Like I said, it's my first experience as well on YouTube, in fact, live. And well, I'm excited. I'm not sure about you, but I hope. Oh, Hamza, you're gonna leave. Okay. Okay, fine. 7 is not okay for you? Is it gonna be every day or is it just gonna be today? Only today? Then fine. Okay, chalo. The replies are also coming very slowly. All right. Anyway, let me not. I think that's Shravantika. Prabha is Shravantika, I believe. On Educator app, no. I mean, like, I have to schedule the classes there, but then from now on, every day at 7 p.m., I'm going to be live on YouTube from today. So this is my first class today. Well, I myself am quite, not aware how things are here. So this is my first class along with you guys. So just let's see how it goes. Anyway, let me begin. I am supposed to, this is Unacademy platform. I know Shravantika, that's what I saw your name and I realized that it was you. Anyway, this is Unacademy platform and this platform is actually for you guys to crack your 9th and 10th examination, and Unacademy platform helps you in all your CBSE exams, and it gives you the access to unlimited live and recorded courses from obviously India's best educators. Well, you already know, all those who are here, probably you already know me, but then I am supposed to formally introduce myself. I am Tasneem Ahmed and I have completed my master's and MPhil in English. I also have my TESOL certificate and I have trained 1,000+ students, which among which few are you guys. And I also have 8 years of experience as well. Today's topic is actually active and passive voice. Before I teach about active and passive voice, let me give you a little more information about Unacademy, what you can expect at Unacademy. Well, Unacademy offers you daily live classes and then you have live tests, you have structured courses, and you have unlimited access. Well, daily live classes, the ones which we have on Educator app, which we've been having all these days and today over here. So similarly, the similar classes, and then you also have live tests and quizzes, and you also have structured courses, and of course, unlimited access to all our live and recorded courses to watch from the comfort of any of your device. Well, all you have to do is buy one of the subscriptions and get the access to free live classes, and you can prepare from any of the top educators, any educator you prefer to learn from, and then you also get the comprehensive syllabus of mathematics, social science, Hindi, science, and of course English as well. And then you can also talk to us on Telegram application. That is by downloading this application and then typing this particular link over here, and then clicking on join, and you will be introduced to all the educators. Then you also have to download the Unacademy Learning app. And finally comes the most important part, where you will be introduced to different subscriptions available. Unacademy offers you different subscriptions starting from, okay, something happened. 1 second. All right. Okay, like I was telling you, Unacademy offers you a subscription starting from 1 month to 48 months. As you go higher with the duration, you get the discount. The discount on these courses go higher as well. 6 months course, you can see that it comes with 33% of discount, and as you go further, the discount increases. The 12 months course over here is available on 50% of discount, and then 24 months is available on 58%, and then it goes on to 60 and then to 67. If you guys are in 9th grade, yes, Divya, who is this? I'm not quite sure. If you can introduce yourself. Yeah, like I said, if you guys are in 9th grade, I would suggest go for this 48 months course. If you are in 10th grade, go for 36 months. And then if you are in 11th grade, go for 24 months. And then if you are in 12th grade, then go for 1 month subscription. Even otherwise, if you are a new candidate over here, I would suggest take the course which is available for 12 months and then type this code TA01, which is going to give you additional 10% of discount along with the discount which comes with this duration. That is 50 plus 10 gets you 60% of discount. That is, as opposed to 15,000 rupees, now you will only be paying 13,500 only for the duration of 12 months. Once you type the code TA01 when you proceed to pay. Well, that's all about Unacademy and the subscriptions. Let us now begin with our today's topic. I hope you all actively participate and also actively respond to all my questions. So before I proceed, my students from Velamal, can you please tell me, any one of you tell me, what is active and passive voice? What do you mean by active and passive voice? Anyone? What do you mean by active or passive? Try and tell me in one statement. Anybody? Yeah, Mridula, I can see you. So tell me, what do you mean by, I better keep this here so that, I can, Yeah, guys, changing the importance of in a sentence. Not exactly. Not exactly. Mridula, what do you think? What is active and passive voice? Or Alma, what do you think? What is active? When we say active and passive voice, what do we actually mean? Anybody in the class, meaning of active and passive? No one is aware of the answer? All right, let me proceed and answer myself. Well, when you say, first of all, when you say in a sentence, when the subject does the action. I remember teaching this to Mridula and Hamsa. I remember teaching you guys this thing in your 8th grade. Anyway, when subject does the action in a statement, I suppose you all know that when you have a subject, a statement begins with a subject. So when you have a subject, and when that subject does the action, the verb is said to be in active voice. Let me give you the example. That is, he drew the picture. He drew the picture. Now over here, what's the subject? Guys, pick the subject. Changing the first person to second person. Not really. 1 second, Mridula. Now pick the subject first. He, that's correct. So this is your subject. So what is he doing over here? What is he doing? What is the action done by the subject over here? What's the subject action done by this subject over here? If this is our subject, what is the action done by this subject? No answers? All right, let me tell you the answer myself. Yeah, drew the picture. The action done over here by this is this person. Supposing if I were to change this, let us say he, let me write a name of a person over here. Supposing if I write Hamsa. Hamsa drew the picture. So Hamsa is doing something, and that is drew the picture. So this is the action done by Hamsa. The action is going forwards. Here, the voice of this action, of this verb, is said to be active. Is said to be active. This is what we call as active voice. Now let us talk about passive voice. What do you understand, or what do you say is passive voice? Can somebody tell me what is passive voice? I know, Mridula, video, like the entire video is not clear. You're not able to see anything at all. Safina, Alma, where are you guys? All right, let me proceed. Okay. Let me, Divya, where are you from? Are you from Chennai? From Velamal? All right, anyway, let me proceed. Okay, cool. When the action is, okay, I'm not sure, Mridula, what the issue is. Okay, maybe the network issue, something, I presume. All right. All right. Alma, I need response from you. All right. When the action is done upon the subject, the verb is said to be in passive. Give me, or those who are aware, if you guys are in 9th or 10th grade over here, I want you people to turn this statement into passive and let me know how. If you were to change that into passive, how would you do that? Let me know, guys. Come on. Passive. Turn this statement into passive. If you were to do that, how would you do that? Hamsa drew the picture. Hamsa did an activity, and that activity or the action is drawing. That is drew. That is said to be in active voice. But now we are supposed to change the voice by the picture. That is correct. Is your name Divya? The picture was That is correct. The picture, we will begin. Okay, I'm going to talk about the rules in a while. Let me just first talk about the voice over here. If this is active, this is passive. When I say the picture was, the past participle is what we use over here, is drawn by Hamza. Full stop, or we can also use a pronoun over here. Now let us take a look at the subject, that is that one which we've used over here, that is the picture was drawn. Now do you see, now if supposing, I hope you agree when I say this is our subject, if this is our subject over here, is this subject doing the action or is the action done upon the subject? What is it? Is the subject doing the action or is the action done upon the subject over here? Which one is it? Come on, Alma. Alma, Mridula, Divya. Tell me, is the subject doing the action or the action is done upon the subject over here? Why don't I get any response? All right, that's correct. Done upon. Here, the subject is the picture. And when you say was drawn, this action is in fact done on the subject. Therefore, here, the voice of the action is said to be in passive. So what do we mean by voice is when the action or when the verb is in its active voice or when the action is done by the subject, we refer to that as active, or when the action is done back upon, reflects back upon the subject, we refer to that as passive. I hope that is clear. Let me proceed to discussing the rules. I'll first briefly, tell you the rules, discuss the rules, and then I'll take you through each and every example that I have when it comes to active and passive voice. Like I said, the very first thing that you have to understand when you are converting the active into passive is passive can be made only when you have an object in a sentence. If there is no object in a particular statement, then there is no possibility of converting an active into passive. First of all, a statement should have an object. If there is an object, then you can definitely go ahead and convert an active voice into a passive voice. Guys, if you guys are listening, you need to give me an update now and then with either a yes or a thumbs up or something, because it's totally, the messages are not moving and I have no idea. It's not like the educator app. So Safina, Hamza, Mridula, Alma, just a thumbs up would mean that you are there and listening. All right, cool. Next is the next rule. The very first thing, look for an object. If there is an object, then yes, of course, you can convert it into a passive voice. If there is no object, then there is no possibility of converting the statement into passive voice. Next is if you have an object and then you proceed converting that into a passive voice, the subject in the active voice becomes the agent. Now the subject, remember, it's not object. Most of you actually might have heard this as it converts into object, but it doesn't convert into object, but instead we call that as agent. The subject of active voice becomes the agent in the passive voice, and the object in the active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice. Just remember this. I'll take you through again. Next is put by in front of the, not the object, agent. Sorry, agent. In front of the agent in the passive voice. Use past participle. Well, let me tell you one more thing. I hope you all know what is a past participle because we have discussed the 5 forms of the verb so many number of times that I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back explaining those 5 forms that we have. I'm pretty sure you know what is a past participle. But if I still have to say, it is the V3 form, the third form, and it is called as past participle. All right? We only use past participle when it comes to passive voice. In passive voice, we only use V3 form, that is our past participle. And then we change it accordingly, according to the change of tense, and we use be verbs and then have verbs and also been verbs. I hope you all know all of those be verbs and have verbs and all of that. Then you need to change the pronouns accordingly in passive voice. Now let us move on to know the changes of the pronouns. If you have I, it converts itself into me in passive. And then if you have he, it converts itself into him. And then if you have you, then it is you. We into us, she into her, they into them, it remains it, who into whom, and if you have whom, it comes back to who. All right, so these are the changes of pronouns that we have. Let us now move on and let us see the changes of the rules of tenses that we have. All right, is it too dark? Is the screen too dark? I hope you guys can see, or should I have to change the font? All right, I'll probably change the font tomorrow. Now it's too late to change. Anyway, when the active voice here, all this is in active voice. When it is in active voice, it changes into passive. When you change that into passive, you either take is, are, am, and the past participle. These rules are going to help you change active to passive very easily. Remember that, all right? Now, when the active voice is in present continuous, it changes into is, are, am, and then being. Continuous takes being and then past participle. When it is in present perfect, it changes itself into has been, have been, and then past participle. Then, supposing if the active voice is in simple past, it converts itself into was, were, and of course, past participle. Like I told you earlier, past participle is something that you will you will use in passive voice. You do not use any other form. No root verb, no plus s verb, no ing form, no past tense. You only use the past participle alone in passive voice. But the changes are with the be verbs and the other verbs, the being verbs. Past continuous takes was and were and then being. Past perfect takes had been and past perfect. Sorry, past participle. I'm sorry, past participle. This was supposed to be participle. All right, past participle. Now, when you have an active voice in simple future, it gets converted itself into will be and past participle. And when you have future perfect continuous, it gets converted into will, have, been, and past participle. Well, the most important thing is there is no passive voice for present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous, and future continuous. Out of all the 12 tenses we have, we only convert 8 tenses alone into passive. The other 4, that is present, past, future continuous, and also future perfect. All the 3 perfect tenses along with future continuous tense is not, we do not use that, or that cannot be converted into passive voice. I hope until here it is clear. Give me some heads up, some thing, yes or no, so that we can proceed with changing into active to passive. Guys, isn't anybody here? Alma, even you are not here? Okay, cool, Mridula. Okay then. Alma, where are you? Why don't I see you responding? Okay, all right. I don't know why you guys are so quiet. All right. Anyway, let me continue. So I'm going to take you through each and every tense now over here. You have simple present, and then we convert simple present into is, are, am, and past participle. Now, the thing is, okay, I don't know why there is something. Okay, fine. Let me give you the example. Let us take a statement in simple present. That is, when you have a statement of this sort, she drives the Mercedes. And full stop. Now you can clearly see that this is your simple present. What is the structure of simple present? You have subject. Soon after the subject, you have the root verb or the plus s verb. I hope you remember the tenses that I taught you. You have subject and you have the plus s verb over here. So this is our simple present. Now this has to be converted into passive voice. So what are the rules that we discussed? The object of the active voice becomes the subject over here, right? So what's the object? Can you people help me convert the statements? Tell me what is the object over here? She drives the Mercedes. What is the object in this particular statement? The object over here is, what's the object over here, guys? You need to help me out over here. You need to tell me the object of the statement so that I can take you step through each and every step. Very good. The object over here is the Mercedes, and we will take that object and we will use that as our subject in our passive voice. That is the Mercedes. Now, change it according to the rule that we have over here, that I showed you over here. Drives becomes, you take the be verb accordingly, and is, are, am, or you convert that into past participle. Now, what are you going to do? Tell me. Miss Mercedes, probably you changed the spelling, I believe, Mridula. Okay. After Mercedes, what are we going to do? What type of verb are we going to use over here? Are we going to use is, are, or am? What are we going to use? I'm waiting. I'm not getting any response. Should I proceed? Are you guys there? Monisha, hi. All right. Yep, that is correct. This is a singular. This is the name of a car, Mridula. This is the name of a car. Yeah. The Mercedes, which is our object in this particular statement. This is our active voice. This is our active voice, and this active voice gets converted into passive. So when you are converting this active into passive, you bring the object of the active voice as the subject of your passive. That is the Mercedes. This is the name of a car. So here, because this is a singular subject, you definitely are going to go with your singular verb, that is. And what is the past participle of drive? The past participle over here is driven. The Mercedes is driven by whom? Who is the agent over here? Who is our agent? Guys, who is the agent over here? Remember, I told you the subject of active voice, which is she, becomes the agent. And I also told you that it changes according to the pronoun she changes accordingly. So you cannot just go ahead and write she over here. Supposing if you end up writing she, it doesn't make sense at all. You will have to use the object pronoun over here, which is by her. So you can see that she drives the Mercedes has been converted into the Mercedes is driven by her. Now this is our passive voice. Now let us go to the next one, which is present continuous. When you have your present continuous active voice, it gets converted into is, are, am, and then being, and of course past participle. Let me give you the example in present. Thank you, Harsh. I think you are new over here. All right, so present continuous. Let us first take the present continuous statement, which is she is driving. She is driving the Mercedes. And full stop. Now help me changing this. Help me change this into passive voice. The object, the object of our active voice is, we already know. I have taken the same example over and over and over. Kripa, hi. Well, Kripa, I have started my classes over here, so I will come there as well. But I'm happy to see you over here. I'm so happy that you've joined. Okay, I will come there as well, dear. But here I am live every day at 7 p.m. on YouTube. So if you're free, join in every day, all right? Okay, now let us proceed. And I was asking you to change this into, this is our active voice. This is our active statement, which is in present continuous form. And we need to change this into our, hi Sumit, after a very long time. I will. Very good evening, Sumit. Nice to see you over here. Okay, so like I was saying, present continuous, and this we need to change it into passive voice. And the object over here is, Mridula has already sent the answer. That is the Mercedes, which is the object of our active voice. But then when we are converting this into passive, we bring this as our subject. That is the Mercedes. And which verb are we going to use over here? Be verb. Yes, Sumit, you have missed a lot of like all the tenses. You wanted me to teach tenses on Educator app. I did. I think you were there only for 1 or 2 classes. Yeah, that is correct, Monisha. Monisha, so nice to see you here. Is. The Mercedes is. And over here, you are going to use being because it is a continuous form. You are going to use being along with is. That is, the Mercedes is being, and then of course, like I told you, you only use past participle in your, like I said, in your passive voice. So you are going to convert the verb driving into really, that's, I think, good, Sumit. And driven. The Mercedes is being driven by whom? Who's the agent here? By? The agent over here is she, therefore that's our passive voice. Now give me the, I'm going to give you the question over here. Let us see if you guys can convert that yourself into passive. And present perfect is what we are going to use over here. And she has driven the Mercedes. Now follow the formula that I have given. Present perfect, has been or have been. When you change that into passive, I know this is my first class and I believe very soon other people will also join in, Ritu. So everyday 7 over here, that's for sure, Sumit. Everyday 7 on YouTube. Even on Educator app, I'm trying to make a schedule. I'm not able to, but then here on YouTube, I'm going to be here every day at 7 p.m. Yeah, guys, come on, answer for this question. Present perfect. When you have your active voice in present perfect, how do you change that into passive voice? When you have this in active voice, how do you change that into passive voice? Come on, Sumit. Alma, why aren't you not replying at all? हिंदी में यार एक्सप्लेनेशन ठीक से नहीं आता मुझे. मेरी हिंदी ना थोड़ी इतनी अच्छी नहीं है कि मैं एक्सप्लेन कर पाऊँ. एक्सप्लेनेशन हिंदी में मुझसे पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. आप हंसने लगोगे मेरी हिंदी सुनकर. तो लेट मी एक्सप्लेन इन इंग्लिश. आई ट्राई टू बी as slow as possible, and I'll try keeping it as simple as possible. So just bear with me. So yeah, guys, come on, let's talk later. Let us just, हाँ अच्छा तो बोल लेती हूँ, मगर if you want me to teach, पढ़ाना नहीं आता हिंदी में, कभी पढ़ाया नहीं, सिर्फ बात कर लेती हूँ बस. Okay, guys, she has driven the Mercedes. How are you going to change that into passive? Come on, tell me. Venu Gopal, past perfect. Yes, this is not past perfect, buddy. This is present perfect. The statement, she has driven the Mercedes, is in present. When you change that, obviously, the object of our active comes down, which is our subject in passive, the Mercedes. Now, after Mercedes, are we going to use has been or have been? Has been, yeah, Mridula has already answered. Mridula is the only one answering. In Educator app, there is a competition going on. Mercedes has been. After that, what are we going to use? What is going to happen to driven? What is going to happen to driven? Driven is going to be driven because even here it is past participle, and even in passive voice we are going to use past participle. Therefore, the Mercedes has been driven, and who is our agent? Our agent is she, and it becomes her. So this is simple present and present continuous, present perfect, and these are the changes that happen. Now let us move on to simple past. And when you have a simple past statement, how do you convert that? Well, the rule is already given. When you have an active voice in simple past, let me give the same example. She drove the Mercedes. Focus on the sentence structure, people. This is going to help you understand better. She drove the Mercedes. This is our simple past. Now, this simple past needs to be converted into, the rule that you're going to apply is you are going to bring down your object. That is the Mercedes. The Mercedes is the object of the active voice. This is our active voice. And you are going to bring this down as our subject. That is the Mercedes. Now, this is our subject in our passive voice. The Mercedes was, that's correct because it is a singular subject. The Mercedes was, and drove becomes driven. Driven, and obviously by her is our agent because she is the subject, and she, the subject of active voice, becomes the agent over here in passive voice, and this is the agent over here. Therefore, this is our passive voice. Our passive voice. Now, next one, let us move on to the next one. That is past continuous. Past continuous, let me give you the example of, okay, let me use the same color. That is, she was driving the Mercedes. Now, how are you going to change? This is our active voice. Use the formula that I have given. It is going to help you. This is our active voice, and you need to change. These questions are for everybody, Ritu. Ritu, where are you from, by the way? You know this question, why don't you help me change this, Ritu? See, this is our active voice, okay? When you have a subject and she was driving, it says that the action, the subject, that is she is doing the action. So when we have the subject doing the action, we refer to that as the voice of the action of this particular statement is active, is said to be in active voice. Now this need to be, okay, this needs to be changed into passive, as in when the action is done upon the subject. For that, we are going to switch the subject and the object's position. So here the object is Mercedes. So you are going to bring that down over here. And I think Yashaswini and Mridula and Monisha have already messaged. The Mercedes, and you are going to use was because it is a singular subject, was, and then being. B-E-I-N-G, being, and of course driving becomes driven. As I told you, we only use past participle in active and passive. Therefore, the Mercedes was being driven, and who is our agent? Our agent is by her. Good, Alma, after you're responding after a very long time. Okay. All right, so this is said to be in passive voice. This is the passive of past continuous. How about past perfect? Now, if I'm going to give you the statement in past perfect, that is, she had past perfect. She had driven the Mercedes. Now, how do you change this, guys? This is said to be inactive. This is said to be inactive. This is our active voice. The voice of the tense is active. No problem, Ritu. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can, you can still try. Listen to what I'm saying and you can still try. The Mercedes had been very good. Yashaswini, what's your name? I mean, I can see your name as Yashaswini, but I'm not quite sure what your real name is. Am I to address you as Yashaswini? All right. She had been, no. Ritu, focus on this. This is supposed to come down. When you change active to passive, this is supposed to be, yeah, Lekshija, hi, hello. Oh, Shritaja, hello Shritaja. Yeah, nice to see you over here. Tarini, okay, hi Tarini. Yeah. Now, Ritu, I want you to focus over here. Listen to me. See, this is the subject of the statement. This is our subject and this is our object. When you change that into passive, you bring this to the front. That is the object to the front, the Mercedes, and then you will follow this formula. Mercedes had, because this active is in past perfect, we are going to use this rule. So the Mercedes, the object of the active voice, becomes the subject. Now here, this is our subject. So the Mercedes had been. Had been. You are going to use been and then you are going to use driven. The past participle, that is driven, and she, which is the subject of active voice, becomes the agent. Becomes the agent. We call it as agent and not the object, but we use the preposition by and then we convert she into her. So that's our passive voice. The Mercedes had been driven by her. That's correct, Shritaja. That is correct. Now let us move on to simple future and future perfect tense. Now, if I were to give you the statement as, for simple future, she will drive the Mercedes. She will drive the Mercedes. So this is our active voice. This is said to be in active voice. Let me change the color. This is our active statement. Now this is supposed to be changed into passive. Well, here you are going to use the formula will be and past participle by switching the subject into object, the object into subject's place and making the subject as your agent. That is by writing like this. The Mercedes, what are we going to use over here? Will be. The Mercedes will be. Drive becomes past participle. That is correct. Driven. The Mercedes will be driven and our agent is, she becomes our agent, and when we convert that into our agent, she becomes her. And this is said to be in passive. This is said to be in passive. Now we have another one that is future perfect, and future perfect is, let me give you the statement. She will have driven. She will have driven the Mercedes. And full stop. Now, when you change that into passive, you are going to convert that into, I'm sorry, I missed out a word over here. You are supposed to convert that into will and no have. I'm sorry, eliminate this entirely. Just make it as, okay, will have been. That's my bad. It is will have been, not has been, because it is future. We are talking about future over here, and future only takes will have been, no has been over here. Don't get confused. It was my mistake. So ignore this. So just take will and then have been. So how do you change? You bring the object, that is, let us say, the Mercedes. The Mercedes will have been. Will have been, and driven, obviously you are going to use only past participle in your passive voice, therefore you have your driven. Will have been driven, and our agent is by her. I told you earlier that we do not change present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous, and future continuous. There is no passive voice for these four tenses. Out of all the 12 tenses that we have, we only change 8 tenses into passive. You need to keep this in your mind. If you have present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous, and your future continuous, out of all the 12 tenses, you only change the remaining 8 tenses into passive. This is important for you to understand. Now let us move on. Now let us change the statements with 2 objects. I taught you all the examples that I gave you now. They were only with 1 object. Now when you have 2 objects, you can change that in 2 different ways. Let me give you one example first. Then you guys can change that into Sujal, is it? Hello, Sujal. Sujal, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce your name. Is it Sujal or Sujal? Okay. Like I said, let me give you the example. He offered each guest a drink. Mridula, Shritaja, and Sujal. Okay. Alma, I want you people to first pick the objects, 2 objects. There are 2 objects. Pick the objects first. Mridula, Alma, Shritaja. Shritaja, I'm pretty sure you will be able to answer this. Give me the answer for this thing. What are the objects? Subject, I'm pretty sure you are aware of it. Subject is he, obviously. This is our subject. If this is our subject, what are the objects? We have two objects over here, not 1, 2 objects over here. That is, guest is number 1 and drink is number 2. We have 2 objects. Now we can convert this in 2 different ways, where we can bring even this guest as our subject or a drink as our subject. Yashaswini has already sent the example. Very good. Yashaswini, you have sent let me write your example on the board. That is, each guest. This is our one of the objects. Out of 2 objects we have. समझ नहीं आ रहा, कैसे समझाऊं यार मैं, क्या करूं, धीरे धीरे. I have no idea subject को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं and object को क्या बोलते हैं वो भी नहीं पता. See, we call this as subject. I'll be slow. I'll try and I'll try to explain it as slow as possible. Like I said, over here you have one subject and this another subject. Okay, out of this subject we are taking this one object. I'm sorry, object. object, and each guest. Which rule are you going to apply over here? What is the tense? The first thing is, you figured out. Okay, you figured out the subject and the object. Did you figure out the tense? When we have simple past, what do we convert that into? Simple past gets converted into was or were, and then past participle, right? So based on that formula, we are going to bring in was, and obviously the past participle of offered is offered, and each guest was offered a drink. And who is the agent over here? Agent is by, he is the subject, therefore he becomes him, therefore that is our agent. All right, very good. Now frame a statement with a drink. Let us see. I need a statement beginning with a drink. Make that as your subject. Make that as your subject. A drink. A drink. Same formula, same, it is obviously in simple past, that is past. You will change that into was, were. The same formula to be followed, but subject over here in your passive is a different object. Now this we have used already here. Here we wanted to give the importance to the guest. That is why we brought this object as our subject. Now we want to give the importance to a drink. That is another object. So here we brought this in our subject's place. And we are going to convert that into, very good, Yashaswini, a drink was offered to each guest. To each guest by, who's the agent? Him. That's it. All right. A drink was offered to each guest by him. That's correct. Very good. Very good. Very good. Yashaswini, you did not tell me your name. Is that your name? Hello. Raza. Yeah. Okay, fine. All right. Now let me give you one more example. I want you people to help me you people to answer me straight up. I'll just give you the question over here. Same way. I did not bring in any major changes over here. Just look for, your objects and try. Her mother gave each child a present. This is our active. I want you people to change this into passive with two different objects. I'm going to tell you, object is Harshit, Vanshika. Yeah, Harshit. Hi, Harshit. Welcome to our class. Okay, guys, let us figure out the, this is our verb. This is our verb and this is our subject. And the objects are, these are our objects. Object number 1. And then a present is object number 2. Now you are going to give me 2 statements, each starting with each object as your subject in passive. Come on, let us see. Mridula has already given. First one is a present. All right, we're going to begin with a present. A present was given to each child. Who's the agent here? By her. You can in fact eliminate the agent. You do not really have to bring in the agent every single time. Even if you eliminate it, the meaning is still, completely meaningful. A present was given to each child. You can just put a full stop over here. It will still be meaningful. How about the second one, beginning with each child? Alma, give me the example, beginning with each child. By her mother. Yeah, that's correct. Sorry. By her mother. I left that out. Yeah, like I said, you can eliminate this agent. Even if you eliminate, the meaning of the statement doesn't change. It will definitely convey the entire meaning. But if you want to add, you can definitely go ahead and add as well. But then this is agent is optional. How about beginning with each child? Each child. Each child was given. Each child was given a present by her mother. Like I told you, agent is optional, by her mother. As long as it is not changing the meaning of the statement, you can eliminate the agent. This being our agent, you can eliminate, but then if you really feel you need to bring in the agent in a statement, you can always bring in. Each child was given a present by her mother. That's correct. Now let us move on to the usages of passive voice. Like, why exactly do we need to use a passive voice? Hello, Mohammed Raza. You're not saying anything? All right. Usage of passive voice. Why exactly, if you ask me, why do we really have to learn a passive voice? Why can't we just go ahead and write active voice? What is the need of passive voice? Well, number one, for starters, passive voice is used when you want to say that the subject experiencing the action is more important than the one doing it. Now over here, hello Aryan, welcome to our class. Supposing if I will write the statement as the vaccine is being discovered. Now here, by whom? We are not mentioning the agent. We are not mentioning who the agent is or who is discovering. We are only focusing on the factor that the vaccine is being discovered. So in this particular scenario, the importance is supposed to be given to this subject over here, that is in passive. The action over here is being. So this situation, these kind of situations demand passive voice. Now, if you say somebody, let us say the government of US is discovering the vaccine, rather saying that the importance is given to the vaccine. Obviously, in present scenario, everybody is focused on the vaccine. Therefore, when you want to give the importance to vaccine, you use passive voice. Let me give you one more example. When you say the metro is being constructed, who is constructing is not important over here, but it being constructed is, that factor is important. Therefore, we use passive voice. Another usage is we use passive voice because we don't know or do not want to express who performed the action. Supposing if I say my neighbor's car was stolen last night. Who stole it? Obviously, I have no idea. But it was stolen. My neighbor's car was stolen. So this is the factor that I want to focus on. But who did the action? Well, no idea. In this particular situation, obviously passive voice is what you can, mention it. You have obviously got no idea who stole the car. This situation demands passive voice. If I say all of the chicken, guys, are you there? Give me a thumbs up because looks like nobody is responding. All of the chicken has been eaten. Who ate the chicken? Well, certainly we've got no clue, but all of the chicken has been eaten. Therefore, we are using passive over here because we've got no idea who, in fact, last night my neighbor, no, this is already in passive, Hamza. This is already in passive. I'm discussing, these are only passive. These are not in active voices. These are already in what? Shritaja, I'm not quite, acha, fine. All of the chicken has been eaten. So here you have no idea who has actually done the action, but you are only pointing out at the action has been done upon something. So in this particular situation, obviously you use passive voice. One more factor is passive voice is used in your formal text and in academic essays. Especially for you students, it is important to understand that you cannot just write your essay using active voice. You will have to bring in passive voice in your academic essays if you really want to score high marks. Otherwise, your essays might sound boring and it will not be interesting enough for the reader. To make it interesting, it is important that you use passive voice in your academic writing because it is used mostly in your formal text. So these are the usages of passive voice. Let us quickly take a recap of what we've just learned, and then we have a quiz that is, like I said, first of all, the subject, I told you that to convert that into passive voice, a statement should have an object. If it is without an object, then you cannot convert. That was the first rule that we discussed earlier. Then the second one was the subject in the active voice becomes the agent in the passive voice, and the object in the active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice. Number two is you use by the preposition in front of the object, not the object. I told you myself, it's not the object, but then it is the agent. Agent in the passive voice. Use past participle. Passive voice always uses past participle, and then be verbs are used, and then according to the change of tense, you change it into passive voice. Then you change the pronouns accordingly that we discussed earlier. Now let us move on to the quiz. Are you guys ready? Give me a thumbs up. Well, I haven't given you the options. You are going to change. Is it too small? Is it too tiny? Is it not visible for you people? Just let me know if you guys can see the question. Shritaja, Mridula, Alma, give me the answer for this question. This is our question number 1. Cambridge University Press published this book. I need you people to answer this question. Change this into passive. How are you going to change this into passive? Guys, answer please. This book was published by Cambridge University. The object over here is the book, and that comes to the front. Very good. This book. And here it is, the verb is published, which is in simple past. It is in simple past, and you change that into, you bring was over here, and then published is our past participle as well, and the agent over here is by Cambridge University Press. And there you go. That is correct. Press. That's correct. Very good. Next one. Come on, let's see who's going to give me the answer quickly. Next question. Super quick. 5 million people watch the show every day. 5 million people watch the show every day. Answer, please. 5 million people watch the show every day. 5 million people. 5 million people is our subject. And what's the object over here? The show is our object. Now change that into passive. How are you going to change that into passive? Come on, guys. I'm not getting any response. The quiz is entirely for you. One of you should be able to answer me this question. Am I getting, or should I give the answer myself? The show is very good. Very good, Mridula. This is simple present. This is simple present, and this gets converted into the object comes as our subject, that is the show. Because it is simple present, we use is. The show is, and the past participle of watch is watched. The show is watched, and the agent is by 5 million people every week. There you go. Next question. The show is, this is simple present. The previous statement was simple present. Therefore, we only use is over here. Now, focus on this thing. Dana is making all the reservations. This is in, let me give you a tip over here. This is in present continuous. This is in present continuous. How do you change it into passive when you have present continuous statement? In present continuous, you bring in is and being and past participle. Now change that into passive. Look for your, hi Priya. Look for the object over here. Check for the object. Bring the object to the subject's place. Once you've done that, apply the reservations are being made by, very good. All the, well, you missed out all the. Anyway, doesn't matter, but anyway, that answer is correct. All the reservations, it is plural, guys. I gave you is over here, that's the rule, but the reservations over here is a plural subject, and therefore we are going to take are. The reservations are being made. Making, the past participle of making is made, and our agent is by Dana. There you go, full stop. All right, all the reservations are being made by Dana. Very good. Question number 4. My assistant will give you the instructions. My assistant will give you the instructions. This is in simple future. This is in simple future. And I want you to change this into the rule. And what is the rule that we are going to use over here? Will be and then past participle. So how are you going to use it? The instructions will be given by my assistant. Very good. Instructions will be given by my, very good. The instructions will be the instructions will be given to you by my assistant. Very good. Next question. Hello. I'm not quite sure what your name is, but hello. Welcome to our class. All right. 5th one. The housekeeping dusts and mops the floors every night. So here, this is in our simple present. It is in simple present. What do we change that into when you have a simple present statement? Muskan. Okay, Muskan, welcome to our class. Simple present gets converted into is, are, am, and then past participle. So let us see if you guys can change that. You've got 2 verbs over here. If you guys can take a look, pay attention. You've got 2 verbs over here. Dusts and mops. You've got 2 verbs. Let us see if you guys can answer this one correctly. What happened? Something seems... Oh yeah, I know. It's hidden, right? It's hidden behind... Just focus on what I'm saying. The housekeeping dusts and mops the floors every night. The question, you want me to write it again? Dust for every. Every is missing. Alma, every is missing. Just, from here. The housekeeping dusts and mops the floors every night. So the floor is dusted and mopped by the housekeeping every night. Very good. Very good, Shritaja and Mridula. That is correct. You can either bring in every night in the beginning. That also can be done. Every night, the floors are dusted. Here you've got two verbs and you need to convert two verbs into past participles, not just one alone, but both your verbs. Every night the floors are dusted and the past participle of mop is mopped by. Our agent is the housekeeping. The housekeeping. Or like the way you have brought it, you can also bring every night over here, not an issue. All right? Every night the floor is mopped and dusted by the housekeeping. The housekeeping. That is correct. Next one. Rachel will give 20 auditions this month. Is it clear, the question? Oh God, it's so slow. Guys, are you there? Okay. The question is, Rachel will give 20 auditions this month. Rachel will give 20 auditions this month. This month, 20 auditions will be given by Rachel. Yes, that also is correct. And 20 auditions. You can also begin it with 20 auditions will be given. Give becomes given. Will be given by the agent over here is Rachel. Very good. That is correct. The hidden word is actually month. It is actually month. I'm sorry. I'll just make sure that from tomorrow I bring the questions down and a little bigger font. Like I said, this is my first class on YouTube, so I did not look forward for these kind of technical, well, not technical though, typing issues probably. So I will try and Priya Rani, that's such a beautiful comment. Thank you. My first class and my student comments me such a beautiful thing. Thank you though. Anyway, let us proceed to the next one. That is, the professor gave the books to the students. I hope the question is on the screen. The professor gave the books to the students. I hope that's not two books to the. Alma, nothing is hidden. This is where it ends. I mean, the professor gave the books to the students. Really forgive me. I mean, I did not look forward for this issue of the font. I'll make sure that tomorrow's video has a bigger font. I'll make sure of that. And yeah, the answer is the books. Yeah, we have two objects over here. Can you guys give me another version of passive voice over here? One, we started with the books. All right. The books were. Now we have simple past. Simple past gets converted into were or was, and then V3, that is past participle, right? So books is a plural version, therefore, plural subject, therefore we are going to use were. The books were, obviously gave becomes past participle, which is given to the students, and the agent is by the professor. Another version, guys. Are you going to give me another version? Hello, Himanshu. Yeah. What is the books were given to the students by the professor. Another, you have one object over here. This is one object and another is the students. I want you guys to begin the statement with the students, which is already done. Shritaja, that is correct. The students. Again, students is a plural subject. Therefore, we are going to bring in were. Very good. You have noticed that. The students were, obviously, gave becomes given. The students were given the books. The books by, the agent over here is by the professor. All right, cool. Next one. Ross has sent me a file. 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 Again, we have got two objects over here. Ross has sent me and also a file. Give me any version is fine. Any version will do. Hello. A file has been, very good. A file has been. Now here it is already in present perfect, right? We have this in present perfect already. Now the present perfect gets converted into, you add along with has, you add been. And then obviously the past participle. Therefore, a file has been sent to me. Who's the agent? Ross. By Ross. Another version, another me. What happens to me if you bring that as your subject? What happens to me when you bring that as your subject? Now here, this is your object. Now, if you have to convert this me into subject, how would you do? Very good. So, how is the statement going to be? I. Because the subject is I, we are going to bring the auxiliary as have, and then obviously been. I have been, and sent is your past participle. I have been sent a file. Who's the agent here? Agent is Ross. There you go. That's correct. All right. I have been sent a file by Ross. That is correct. Now, one more example. Thank you, Priya. Thank you so much. All right. Very sweet of you to comment that. Now, they refused him a visa. Ninth question. They refused him a visa. Now, this is our active voice. How would you... Okay, answer. Already Mridula has answered me. The answers are kind of popping up very slow over here. It's not like, Educator app. Over there, it's pretty quick. It's here on YouTube. It's quite slow. So I'm kind of waiting over here for you people to... Anyway, yeah. A visa was refused to him. A visa was refused to him by them. That's correct. A visa was refused to him by them. They becomes them over here. All right. This you need to keep in mind. Another version is he was refused a visa. Now, I told you earlier that you need to keep in your mind what you need to, I mean, like when you've got two objects, you need to bring in that particular object as your subject, the one which you want to give prominence to or importance to. He was refused a visa. Very good. The final question, the last question, he told us a joke. Again, we've got two objects over here. So let us see who can answer me the correct answer for this thing. Who can give me the correct answer for this thing? He told us a joke. If I have to help you over here, this is our object, and a joke, this is our object. This and this is our object. Now I need both the conversion into passive. What are you going to do? A joke was told by him. That is correct. A joke was told by him. You can eliminate to us if you want, but then if you want to keep it, you can. A joke was told to us by him. Another version, begin with us. What is, yeah, very good, Mridula, very good, excellent. We, and because it is we, were. Because it is we, it is we were. We were told a joke by him. That's it. We were told a joke by him. Told, here it is our past tense, and here it is our past participle. All right? All right. All right, so we are done for the day. I'm going to meet you again tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I want you all to join my class again. And we are going to learn active and passive voice with interrogative sentences and also with imperative sentences tomorrow. All right? Thank you, Muskan. Thank you so much. Try joining in tomorrow as well. I will be live at 7 o'clock every single day. And we have started active and passive voice today. And tomorrow I'm going to continue with active and passive voice with interrogative sentences and with imperative sentences. What we learned today was with declarative sentences. Thank you, Shritaja. Try joining in every day because Hamsa and Mridula are here every day without fail. Try joining in, tomorrow's class. I am going to be live every day at 7 o'clock. Remember that? 7 o'clock, I'm going to be here every day with one or the other topic. And tomorrow's topic is live on Unacademy. I think I will plan it for day after tomorrow, Alma. Day after tomorrow at 4 o'clock probably on Educator app. We have to finish tenses over there, right? On Unacademy, I'll come day after tomorrow. That is Wednesday, 4 o'clock. But tomorrow, 7 p.m. I'm going to be here and we will continue with active and passive voice with interrogative sentences and with imperative sentences. Okay, guys, thank you very much. We are done. And do remember my code and please subscribe in case, you need to get notification about the class. Do make sure that you are hitting that bell icon and also make sure that you are joining our Telegram group for our latest updates. All right? Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Can I get a bye from all of you? It was my first session and I think it was good. I think it was good. I liked it. Not like, Unacademy, Educator app though. It was kind of slow, but then it was good. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you. Same to you, Shritaja. Bye, Mridula. Bye, Alma. Muskan, Ritu, I suppose Ritu, all you guys have left. Bye-bye, all of you. See you again tomorrow. Be here tomorrow at 7 o'clock and I will be waiting for all of you, okay?